Kia ora Year 9. In this video I'm going to go through every question in the revision sheet that I sent you with the foundation skills we covered last term. Okay, so I'm going to go quite slowly and if you need help on any of the individual skills, just email me or talk to me when we do our Zoom later on. Okay, so the first questions are getting at the idea of what is a like term, and we have to simplify the expressions. So here we need to notice that the x's can be added together and then the y's can be added together. And that's the pattern for the first few questions in here. So here we've got 3x's and we write that as 3x. We don't need a times sign when we're doing algebra. So it's 3x plus 2 lots of y, so 2 times y. And again, we don't write 3 times x, and we don't write 2 times y. We also don't write 1 times x as 1x. We just write that as x. And we're going to see that in the next question. So in this one here, how many x's have I got? Well, I've got 2 lots of x, and then I've got 2 lots of y, and then 1z. So this will be 2x plus 2y plus z. In the next one, we've got an x and another x, so that's 2x. Take away x, take away another x, so we're back to no x's. And then we're going to take away 2 more. So we've got negative 2x plus a y. Now the next questions move on to mixed up ideas of multiplication and indices. So a number times itself, if I have 3 times 3, is a squared number, and we can write that as 3 squared. It's the same with algebra. A times a is equal to a squared. A times 2 means 2 lots of a, not a lots of a. Right, so this one here is a lots of a. This one here is 2 lots of a. It's really easy to confuse those at first. Right, so this one here is 2a. And a times 2 is the same as this one here, 2 times a. The order in which we multiply doesn't matter. So this next one is b times itself times itself. So that's b cubed. In this one here, you can see that we've got the b cubed again. So we've got 3 times b cubed, and we write that as just 3b cubed. Okay, on to the next few questions. What I'm testing here is whether you understand the convention that we don't write multiplication signs in algebra. So this simplifies to be 2aby. You could also write it as 2bay or 2yab. It really doesn't matter. I usually go in alphabetical order. In this question, we can simplify by multiplying the two numbers together. So this will be 6ab. And the same idea here. I've got a 4 times a 5, so that simplifies to 20. And this one, because you might be missing it a little bit, I simplified to 20kfc. Number 12 and number 13 look nearly the same, but they're not. So number 13 has got all multiplication signs. But number 12 has got multiplication signs, then a plus, and then this. So we have to think about our order of operations. What do we do first? Well, first we do this multiplication and this multiplication, and then we add them together. So just clean that up a bit. So here we have 2bk plus 3amc. And there's nothing more I can do to simplify that. Okay, it's 2 separate things. These are the bk terms, and these are the amc or the mac terms. You can see I was hungry when I wrote this test. Okay, and in the next one we're multiplying it all together. So the first thing we can do is we can multiply the numbers together, and we're going to get 6. And then we just have each letter, right? So I've got A, B, C, M, K. and the order of those letters doesn't matter. It does matter that we have the 6 first, right? That's a really strong convention in maths, that we put the coefficient, the number, out the front. Okay, I'll just give myself some space. Now it actually gets a bit easier from here because we go back to looking at the idea of like terms. So back in question 1, we started with x plus x, and we showed that that was 2x. So the next section in this worksheet works with expressions where we've already got that step. So 3a plus 5a is 8a. We can combine them because we've got the same exact variable. And here we've got 7a take away 10a. That leaves me with negative 3a. Now in this expression here we can put the t's together and we can put the s's together. So we have 19t plus 11s. And the same thing here, we can put the x's together, so we get 5x, and we can put the y's together, so we get 3y. Now in the next expression, we're linking the a's, so we've got 5a take away, okay, so 5a take away 4a, right, and that gives me a, and we've got 3b take away 4b. So we always keep the sign with the term. So 3b take away 4b, if we think about a number line, we're starting here at 3, and we have to go back 4. So we hop back 3 to 0, and then one more. So it's going to be a take away b. Okay, on to the next 9 questions. Now we're back to multiplication. So 3a times 6b, we could write out like this, 3 times a times 6 times b. And that's one of the ones we did earlier. And when we see it like this, we realize that of course we can combine the 3 and the 6. Right? We multiply those to get 18. So it's 18ab. Here we can combine the numbers first. So 5 times 3 times 2. 15 times 2 is 30. A, Y, Z. In the next one, we've got 5a times 6a. And we can write that out more fully as this. 5 times a times 6 times a. So that equals 30. And then a times a is a squared. In the next one, we multiply our numbers first, our coefficients first. 6 times 2 is 12, times 5 is 60. And I've got b times b times b, so I get b cubed. Number 23. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And then I've got a times a is a squared. So it's negative 6 a squared. In the next one, it's going to be negative 6 ab. Right, so that's the end of a block of multiplication, and now we start to mix addition and multiplication and subtraction up to check whether you can isolate the different skills that you need. So number 25 is an example of like terms again, but with some negative numbers. So we're starting here at negative 3x, and we're going to hop 3 to the origin, and then 2 more, because we're adding 5. So we're going to end up at 2x. So that's when we're doing addition, right? Addition is all about like terms. But multiplication is not about like terms. It's about taking this and multiplying the coefficients, negative 15, and then x times x gives me x squared. In number 27, we're back to subtraction. So it's like this one. We have to think about like terms. So negative 3x, take away 5x gives me negative 8x. If you need to draw your number line, that's fine. Here's 0. We're starting at negative 3, and we're going back 5 to negative 8. It's a bit messy, sorry about that. There we go. Okay, on to 28 to 38. Now here we've got some mixed up things with multiplication and addition. So we have to think about BEDMAS in here. There's a times a plus b times b. just make this a little bit bigger for us. There we are. So that's a squared plus b squared. And that's as far as I can go because they're not like terms. And this one here, I'm adding 2a squared and 5a squared. Now, the variables are exactly the same. I've got an a squared and an a squared. So, we can add them together. And we started with 2, and then we had 5 more. So we have 7a squared. This one here is a multiplication. Right? So we multiply 2 and the 5, we get 10. And then we've got a times a times a times a times a. So when I have the same base, we add the powers. So it's 10a to the power of 5. Right? Because remember what I've got is 2 times a times a times 5 times a times a times a. Okay, in the next one, we've got some terms that can be combined and some terms that can't be combined. So the cubes go together, we get 6b cubed. The squares go together, so we get 10b squared, and then we get plus 10b. In number 32, we've got some x squareds. We've got some x's, and then we've got some constants. Now the only things that are the like terms are the constants. So this one is going to be 6x squared plus 5x, and I've got minus 1, negative 1, take away 7, so it's going to be take away 8. Again, if you need to use your number line, you can do that. You've got negative 1 and you're going back 7 to negative 8. Right, just a few more. We're back to multiplication, right? This is all mixed up on purpose. And I think that's the same question as number 30. Okay, I must have been running out of coefficients in my brain. So this one is 10a to the power of 5 again. That was a bonus mark if you got the first one. And then this one is one where I can combine the numbers. So I get 12a squared b. And this one here, we've got, I'll do this one down here, a bit bigger. So 6a squared times 7a, we can write out the long way as 42 times a times a times a, right? We can think of this a here as being a to the power of 1. So you can see when we write it out the long way that we can add those two powers because I've got the same base. So my final answer there, 42a cubed. Okay, number 36 is also testing your understanding of like terms. So 9ab plus 12ba plus 2a minus 4a. Well, these things are definitely like terms, right? But so are these, because the order of multiplication doesn't matter. So this is 9 times a times b, and this is 12 times b times a. But I could have written it the other way around. So in this case, we've got 21ab, or 21ba, minus 2a. Right, the last two are just checking that you remember how BEDMAS works. In this one, the first thing I have to do is evaluate what's in the brackets. So it's 4 times 3a, and that equals 12a. In number 38, we've got 5 times 2a plus 17a, and that equals 10a plus 17a, which gives me 27a. So there you go. Quite a long video, sorry, but hopefully that clears up a few things that you might have found tricky in there, and do send me an email or let me know later on Zoom if you need help. Thanks for watching.